Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and you guys know what time it is. It's time for current events in the online fitness community, and a number of you have linked me a new video, actually it's a few days old at this point, by Jeff Cavalier, aka Athlean-X, aka Curl-Lean-X, aka Bro-Lean-X, talking about 6 exercises that you're not doing that you probably should be. So let me go ahead and put on my +5 hat of Speechcraft, lovingly called my +5 hat of autism by many of you. And let's talk about this. Jeff is one of these that, he says some stuff that I completely disagree with, but he also puts out some good information. Jeff is always going to be a mixed bag on this stuff. He is one of the most popular fitness YouTubers, and that's kind of the point. People will say, oh, who are you people to question him? It's like he should be under scrutiny. He is not above question because he does say some stuff that's flat wrong or some very, very bad strength training advice sometimes. He does. Some of his stuff is garbage. Some of it's really, really good, right? So you have to assess everything. You can never place anyone on a pedestal and even say they're all good or all bad. Because anyone who's out here is a professional in this or putting out information, they're going to get stuff right and they're going to get stuff wrong, including Jeff, including me, right? That's reality. That's reality, and we all have our biases, and his bias is towards physical therapy, and a lot of his strength stuff is kind of bad. And even his own execution of some of the lifts are not particularly good. But that's besides the point. Let's come back over and talk about these 6 exercises. You know what? I have mixed feelings about this video, and I'll break down each of the 6 lifts because some of them are lifts that I do personally every single day. And I don't just do them once a week. Some of the lifts that he discussed, I do every day, 6, 7 days a week. That's how important I consider them. Some of the others I consider to be total trash exercises, useless to the point I wouldn't even consider doing them personally. Not to say they don't have a use, because you can find a use for every exercise. There's no such thing as a completely useless exercise, but some are just a complete waste of resources and training economy and recovery resources, right? Particularly when we're dealing with anything that's a partial. And one of his exercises is just a silly partial. And those same muscles can be worked with bigger movements more completely. So let's go over and look at what he said, and we'll go into them. And obviously his last one, this is one of the things I give him credit for, is that he laughed and said, well, this shouldn't be a surprise if you watch my channel. And the same with me. It's an exercise that I promote religiously and that I do every day. I do it every day almost myself. I do at least 10 sets, if not 20 sets of that exercise every week. So we're going to be in agreement there. And he saved that for the end. What did he start with, though? Started with, I believe, a chest-supported row, right? Chest-supported row. How do I feel about that? I don't know. It's just a row. It's kind of like he kind of emphasized the importance of the chest-supported barbell row. Well, look, you got to have equipment to do that. That's a lot of hassle. And I'm not saying it's wrong. But let's go back over to the point. You want to improve your deadlift by having stronger lats. You want to improve your bench with better scapular retraction. Do lat work, right? And I think that he overemphasized the importance of picking the barbell row like that to take the momentum out. I get it, but it's just not that big of a deal. Do pin lay rows, right? You'll get the same effect. 95% of you will get any benefit you would have gotten from that exercise from just doing a normal pin lay row. That's what I do. I do 10 sets of them every week with barbell. You don't need any special equipment. You just need a barbell and plates, right? That's it. That's all you need. You don't have to have a special bench for it. Kind of come back over to the point of, yes, in some cases you're wanting to take a little bit of the lower back out. There are also some phenomenal deadlifters who want you to use momentum on them. Dr. Deadlift, look at the way he performs a cheat type standing row. It's the total opposite, complete opposite. I deadlifts 950 pounds while weighing just over 200, world record holder. Like no one's even in his league. Like he has no competition. Everyone in his weight class is like 3 levels lower than him. He promotes the opposite. Now, granted, there's genetics and leverages, so just kind of throwing that out there. But the point is, most strong deadlifters and strong bench pressers recommend additional lat work, right? This is kind of a no-brainer. I don't think it has to be a chest supporter. Weighted pull-ups work really good. Pin lay rows work really good. Right? We can argue about which ones carry over better. I'm of the opinion that rowing from the floor gives the best deadlift carryover. That's my opinion, says me. Next, because I'm not going to disagree with that. I mean, it's still rowing for your back. Next, lunges. I think lunges are useless. I'm not saying I couldn't hypothetically come up with a use for them. I am of the opinion that one-legged exercises are not that good. Even the research shows they don't even improve your jumping as much as two-legged exercises. I mean, so let's think about the fact. Improving a two-legged exercise by doing lunges. Sorry, I'm not buying it. The data doesn't support it. The anecdote doesn't support it. I'm just not buying it. I think single-leg exercises are a waste of time. All the data that's looked at them finds that even jumping and sprinting tend to do better from two-legged exercises than one. But people say, well, you need the combination. No, you really don't. I don't think there's no point. Now, we want to talk about some of these one-legged movements, the ability to pivot more, spread out wider, wider stance squats, sumo deadlifts, they do that just fine. So the lunges, no, I don't think that lunges are going to help with your deadlift. I just don't, right? I don't see the evidence for it. I don't see the biomechanics for it. I think they're silly. So that's one of those, I'm just like, a lunge is something I would never do, and it's something I would never program or promote, my opinion. I don't see how it's going to improve your deadlift. There are a hell of a lot better leg exercises than a lunge that will improve your deadlifts. And it's going to depend on whether you're doing sumo or conventional. But a lunge is not one of them. There are so many other exercises he could have picked. So many others. So that one's useless. His third exercise, love it. Glute-Ham raise hyperextension. He didn't name it. Actually, I didn't see him name the exercise. I'll name it because I do it. I do it every day. Glute-Ham raise hyperextension. You guys don't see it on camera because I don't normally film my glute-ham raise. If I need to set it up in a better area for filming than where I have it, so I can start showing you guys some of that myself. I do that exercise every day. I don't do it for glutes. I do it for spinal erectors though, because I have a GHR. I don't have a hyperextension bench, so I do mine on a GHR, which is what he demonstrated. I think direct glute training and activating your glutes more when you squat, I think is bullshit. Again, basic biomechanics, you can't squat. You can't squat without activating your glutes. And if you want more glute involvement, it's actually about foot position more than anything else. It's bar path, foot position, things like that. That will affect your glutes. Needing to target in that way, not necessarily true, but the exercise itself, absolutely great exercise. Great prehab exercise. Great stability exercise. All around good, right? I do at least 10 sets of those every single week, personally. So him throwing that in there, I'm not going to disagree with that. In fact, I think everyone should own a GHR bench. That should be for your home gym. I've said before, that should be your first purchase. So great exercise. What did he do after that? Oh, the Z press. I can take it or leave it. I'll agree with the concept. Doing some form of strict overhead pressing. Yeah, great. Why didn't he do the full range of motion though? Like it's like one of those things where I see him saying, "Oh, we want to do this to make it use the primary muscles, and we want to make it stricter so you can't use your legs at all. So we do it Z press off the pins," and then he skips the bottom of the movement. Like you're trying to improve your bench or not? Why don't you touch your chest? You could have got more chest involvement. Right? Overhead pressing, if you wanted to carry over to your bench, ideally you probably want to come down and actually touch your chest. Lay back a bit and then press it up. But, is it a bad suggestion? No, but let's come back over to the point. Some form of overhead pressing. For a lot of people, if you're weak at overhead pressing, it might be good for your bench if you're weak at overhead pressing. But again, needing something like a Z press, I think is very specialized. I don't think most people are necessarily going to benefit or need to be doing that. Most people who are his audience are going to be more novice lifters, probably not really necessary. Just get them to do a standing press, right? Just do a standing barbell press. They're going to benefit more from it in building their base. That's a very specialized lift for people with very specialized weaknesses. So it kind of comes back to that point of you should be doing. No, I don't agree. Also, there is a discussion of injuries and lower back on it. It's a big source of debate still as to whether the Z press is even a safe lift. I'm not going to get into that debate here. I'm not saying it's a bad lift. I'm not saying it doesn't have its place in accessory movements. Most lifters know, and he's also skipping the bottom of the exercise by touching those pins. And then talking about improving your bench, I'm not going to buy it. The scat pulls, what he did next. Maybe, again, comes over to a hypothetical. Someone with a serious muscle imbalance, okay, maybe so. But it's a partial. And it's a very small exercise partial. Can't you just do pull-ups? Can't you do deadlifts? Can't you do all this other stuff that trains the scapula? Trains that region of the back? Do you really need this little tiny 3-inch range of motion exercise? It kind of comes back to the point of you're never going to sell me personally on 3-4-inch range of motion exercise. It's just not going to happen. That comes back over to just bullshittery, not strength training, being a goofy physical therapist related area, and looking at dealing with completely invalid people who you're getting out of bed who maybe have scapula that are seizing up, right? Or an injury issue, not for someone who's actually training. That other exercises will strengthen that. Says me. So again, the difference between physical therapy versus strength coaching. And lastly, face pulls. Now, I'm not going to get into the debate of whether you need to do the overhead press part of it that he showed, but the basic face pull, the way Jeff demonstrates it, I do it every day. I agree with it. I do 10 to 20 sets of these a week. I'm actually not doing them every day now. Now I'm cutting back just a little bit because I'm doing a little more direct delt work. But minimum, I still do 10 sets, bare minimum, every single week. That's my baseline I shoot for, and then some additional work. I like to do them with bands. I do the same overhead way he does it. Because, again, it works. It's very effective exercise. I also highly rate the face pull, just like Jeff does. That's one of those we're going to agree on. I can't disagree with him because I use the hell out of this exercise. I'm a big fan. I believe that it carries over a lot to your big power lifts. And again, even for guys who are chasing the aesthetics thing, it works your rear delts really, really effectively. Most of you guys need more rear delt. Even those who are chasing, again, that look also, that's beneficial to you guys also. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.